How do you pick yourself up after losing about 7,000 in a deal? How do you pick yourself up after losing about 7,000 in a deal? Hello YouTube. So it's been a minute I've been on here. Just been going through some kind of low period and very down. The exact amount we have lost in this current deal you're taking on is 7,185 and about 72 pence. That's roughly the exact amount we've lost. Give or take, there is obviously more money we've lost than that, give or take £20. But that's the exact amount we have lost based on my calculations. I can break it down for you, firstly, in terms of how much we lost and why we lost it. So it was about 1.8 for the deal source off, originally for the deal. Then it was about 1,100. Yes, I'm reading from notebook because I made notes on it. About 1,100 for the paintwork in the house. Then it was a deposit or first month's rent of 3,005. Then the beds cost us £944.72. Then the doors cost us about 150 for 5 doors to get locks fitted on them, night locks fitted on them. And then there was the oven, there was the microwave and the hoover, which cost us £186. So yeah, in total it comes to about £7,185.72. There is a bit more in there because there's a spare room charge of £19.99. We paid twice for that to boost our advert on SpareRoom, as well as to boost it on open rent. And then there was the bubble wrap for the tenant, obviously to start wrapping up their stuff. So so what's happened? How did I manage to lose that much money in such a short period of time? Essentially, how the deal initially started off, they also passed on to us. I was like, the HMO is like, yeah, it's compliant, it's fine. Landlord's happy with it and he knows it's compliant and he knows your HMO management company. So I'm excited, take the deal on, kind of ignore all my training of, I just take the deal on excited and like, yeah, he said it's compliant, landlord's happy with it. Yeah. So obviously initially I spoke to landlord was like, yeah, I know your HMO management company kind of thing. And yeah, we went forward from there. We took the property on, landlord gave us a grace period of about 3 weeks. We took the property on that, and within those 3 weeks, obviously we paid for the painting to be done, the house to be slightly refurbished, and to be looking nice for us to start doing viewings. Initially, we struggled to get tenants in there, one spare room, but nothing much. I was messaging literally like 20 tenants a day on SpareRoom, but nothing much was really coming back. And then I watched the YouTube videos. About 4 weeks into it, well, still struggling to get tenants in there, and that's why there was a back and forth with the land because like first month's rent's due, and I think I recorded a video about that. I can link it in the bio. My first month's rent's due, and I was struggling because obviously we had no tenants, and we're like, if we can't house this property, how are we going to guarantee rent for the upcoming months? But short story short, I put it on open rent, and that was a gold mine. I started getting tenants messaging us, tenants started messaging us, wanting to come to a viewing. Eventually I managed to get all 5 tenants, but as we go back and forth in emails, obviously the investor, or my investor, was meant to pay for the deposit for the house. We were just going to pay the initial rent with some of the tenants' money and some of the company money in the company. He was meant to support with the initial money in the house and the initial deposit. Something happened that he didn't have his money, so I was kind of stuck with that. Hindsight, that turned out as a blessing because now the estate agents emails back and forth. It's very, very long for me to share how much has happened in this short period of time, but emails back and forth, and eventually the deal fell apart. Estate agents saying, yes, it's not a HMO, we're not taking liability with you, that's not HMO. I was like, by some client, and it's like, yeah, but no, kind of thing, yes, but no. So initially the whole conversation changed, the relationship broke apart, and we pulled out the deal. Putting out the deal to kind of cut things short for both parties and to cut ties for both parties. We just took our losses, which was the paint is our losses, the doors is our losses, the beds is pretty much our losses because we can't physically move 5 beds anywhere else. We have to leave them in there. The microwave and the hoover I will grab back. But yeah, that's how we've lost £7,185.72. So yeah, I've been feeling a little bit down because of that, and I've not really been on here posting and sharing about the journey because I've just been trying to work through that. But I understand everyone goes through that first hit. I even missed gym for a few weeks just trying to work this out and trying to solve this. Now in the process of trying to support the tenants out, that's going to cost us a bit more money trying to support the tenants out. We've already returned their full rent and their full deposit, already returned that, because it's not the tenant's fault that the deals fall apart, and I don't want to build a business like that where obviously you just take money off tenants. Even if tenants is now staying rent free for a month, yes, we just have to take the hits. And so lesson learned is listen and double check based on your training. I paid for a lot of money for training, and for one reason or another I let the high of taking on our next deal kind of get the best of me, and I kind of ignored. I have to take ownership. Don't know what it is. I didn't obviously slightly ignore it, but to some extent I didn't ignore doing my due diligence and saying, you know what, my trainer says it must be HMO licensed rather than just compliant, and that's what it is. It has to be HMO licensed. So that's my big lesson learned. $7,000 lesson, but anything going forward, HMO license, not compliant, it's not enough. If the landlord is not willing to get a license, which we thought this landlord would be willing to, and we thought this landlord was on the same page as us because he knew our HMO management company, but he, deep down, after things have been paid and money invested in property, he wasn't down on it, and so I ended up losing money. So listen to your training if you paid for it, and just follow through and just hold brakes. Don't be too excited to jump onto the next project, even though some of us ambitious people are always willing to take the risk and jump onto the next project.